Good morning. Good morning. Well, I guess it's noon now. So good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's no longer morning. Hello, how are you? Hope you all are having a great day. Just going to give everybody a minute to come on in. I know that it is New Year's Day, so happy New Year's Day to those of you who are watching this on New Year's Day. There will be a recording available. So as you come in, I am muting you, so you can wave or pop into the comments and just say hello. Hello there. I usually start right on time, but I am giving a little bit of time because I know some of us might have been up with the kids doing a little something for New Year's, and so I know there are people will be getting on here a little bit later than normally. So I'm gonna give so we're gonna get started in about 3 minutes. So if you don't mind, while you are coming in, go ahead and just say hello in the comments and tell me where in the world you happen to be. And then, like I said, we will get started about 12:06. Let's see what we got here. DMV, okay. And Connecticut. Okay, so I've never been to either of those places. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I am happy to have you here. Happy to have you here. Got about 2 more minutes. I'm gonna let a few more people just kind of come on in here. I'm gonna check it, make sure I'm not getting any messages from anybody having any trouble getting in. All right, so far so good. So far so good. All right. So it is time for us to get started. I'm going to go live in my Facebook community. All right. Let's make sure technology is working well with us. All right. There we go. All right, so we are live on Facebook, and I think we are good to go. I'm just going to share my screen here. Beginning. Oh, you tricked me, slideshow. There, we got to share the screen first. There it is. All right. Okay, so you all should be able to see my screen now. It says, just write, let your book be your own personal stimulus plan. And this is specifically for people who are interested in either starting a business or using a business to book, to kind of boost, using a book to boost their business. So my name is Cavalyn Day. If this is your first time catching one of my videos or one of my live videos, I am a coach and an educational consultant. So I work with a lot of different types of people, but I work mostly with people who are educators or service professionals. I have several thriving communities. I have a community of over 2,000 school social workers and mental health providers. So I work with people who are in service a lot. And some of those people realize that another stream of income would really be helpful. But I think even more importantly than that, for some of us, is that it allows you to have a greater impact. So I'm going to talk to you today, and this is going to be super kind of casual, but it's going to be about how you could write a book. It's much easier than you would believe, to boost your business and also boost your impact. So as we start today, I want to ask you a question. Would you consider yourself to be a writer? Give me either a yes or a no in the comments. Are you a writer? Are you a writer? Okay, I got some yeses. Good. I like that. Got that. I like a yes. A yes makes me happy, so we know who we are. I sometimes get no's on this, and I want to encourage you to really kind of stretch your mind a little bit in terms of what it means to be a writer, okay? Because when we typically say I'm a writer, we say like, I'm a person who has already published a book, right? Or I'm a person who gets paid to write books. But the truth is, I want everybody on this call to know that if you have a story to tell, a skill to share, or an impact to make, that you are absolutely an author. And I want you to get comfortable feeling your authorship, okay? Cheryl says she is a talker, but she does also like to write her words down. Now, so Cheryl, you sound like you are not only an author, but maybe a speaker as well. And both of those are important. So today is really about you stepping into your ability to be an author. And everybody doesn't have a desire to be a full-time author. So I don't want you to think that in order for you to have a book that boosts your business, that you have to say, I want to be a full-time writer. Most people don't make a living as a full-time writer. Even people who write consistently usually do other things to supplement their income, because in general, unless you are a celebrity, you're not going to make $1 million from a book. However, you can use a book to make $1 million. I'm going to show you how to do that. But what I want you to leave with today is a clear idea of why you should be writing your book and why you should write it right now, right? The number one thing you must do to have a book that boosts your business or even launches your business. So even if you have an idea about having a business, this can boost your business. And then I want you to know exactly what to avoid to keep you from being stuck in desktop prison. Okay, what I call desktop prison is that person who has an idea about a book. Maybe they've even started the book, but it's just sitting there on your laptop. Give me a high five in the chat if maybe you have some book ideas that you know are stuck in desktop prison. Yeah. So I want to get you out of desktop prison, okay? So you're in the perfect spot. If you are sick of gurus telling you that in order to, have a profitable business or be successful, that you just have to keep giving away free things, right? You have to keep giving away your free information, your free skills, your free knowledge. If you're tired of giving away stuff for free, being underpaid, right? Overqualified, if you're tired of that, you're in the right spot. If you know that you've been wanting this for so long, like for a long time, you've had this idea or you kind of put it on the back burner. Maybe if you've even started some, writing on your book, but you really haven't taken it to that next level, you're in the right spot. And if you would love a cheat code, right? Because I'm going to tell you about the cheat code that will get you a book that boosts your business, you are definitely in the right spot. So you're also in the right spot. Would you say like you have a business or you want to have one? So in the comments, tell me, are you a person that says like I have a business or I would want to have a business? Or maybe if you say like I haven't never really thought about it, go ahead and let me know that a little bit of feedback in the comments, okay? Or if you have a business model that requires you to exchange your time for money, right? So a lot of us noticed in 2020 that we had a business model that did not allow us to get paid unless we were working direct service. So I know a lot of social workers who are working direct service. They spend a lot of their time. They only get paid if they're in front of somebody's face. So if you want to shift that in 2021 and get paid on autopilot, you're in the right spot. And if you are a person who says like, I have so many people that I want to serve, I wonder if there's a better way for me to do it. If that's you, you are definitely in the right spot. So tell me, what do you think these people have in common? So on the screen, I have Steve Harvey. I have Miss Patti LaBelle. And I have the incomparable, forever First Lady, Miss Michelle Obama. What do these people have in common? So Kenyatta says she is aspiring to have a business, and Patrice says she's in the process of starting her business. So go ahead and tell me in the comments what these people have in common. So yes, they are authors. Yes, they are authors, right? And I would definitely say that they are celebrities. Obviously, they are people of color as well. But here's the thing that is most critical about these people. These people used their book to pivot in life, okay? So Steve Harvey, when Steve Harvey came out back in the day, y'all, he was not America's host, okay? He was pretty raunchy. He was pretty questionable in some capacities. He is an entrepreneur, but he was a flat out comedian. Now, when we think of him as a media expert. We think of him as an author from his several best-selling books. We think of him as an entertainer who has created not only movies, but television shows. When he decided he was ready to shift in his business, he started writing. He never came out and wrote about comedy. He wrote about how to act like a lady and think like a man, right? That didn't have anything at all to do with comedy, but he used his book to set himself up in position to have additional income streams, right? Now, he's a celebrity, so he obviously was able to get a large book deal, but that concept of, hey, I'm ready to pivot and do something a little bit different can be applied to your life as well. Now, what about Patti LaBelle? We think of her as a singer, we know Miss Patty. She's been around forever, right? She's always fiercely dressed, hair's always laid. But Patty doesn't tour all the time anymore. When she decided she was ready to pivot in her life, she started doing cookbooks, right? So nobody's buying a book from Miss Patty about singing. They're buying a book about how to cook. She went ahead and turned that over into a whole empire now about pies. She has all this entire different revenue stream from pies and other food items because she started with a cookbook. Now, obviously, Michelle Obama, we knew her. She had all types of name recognition. And I don't know exactly what her book contract was, but I can guarantee you it was 7 figures. But what she gave us to what she was able to do when she wrote the book Becoming is she was able to introduce us to the parts of her we didn't know so she could take back her identity as an individual, right? So we got her backstory. She gave us some nuggets, some wisdom, but while we always love her as our first lady, she was able to rewrite her own story and create an entirely separate business entity. So the question you might be asking yourself is, hey, that's great. Those are celebrities. So you might be asking yourself, is it even possible to make money without a huge following or being a celebrity? Let me tell you something. It is not only possible, I'm going to show you why it's probable. Now, some of the things that stop people from doing this is they get afraid, they get overwhelmed, and occasionally they haven't been passionate about it. Now, what I mean by not passionate is they get bogged down in what other people tell them writing is supposed to be about. They get bogged down in what people say is their identity, and that stops them. When I showed you those people on the previous slide, you recognize that none of them were technically writing in their chosen profession. Steve did not write about comedy. Patty did not write about singing. Michelle did not write about the law. If you get pigeonholed into only writing about those things that you quote unquote know or quote unquote have a degree in, it can stop you from writing because you feel like you're not smart enough, not talented enough, not capable enough. And so I want you to right now, today, in this moment, decide that you are giving that up, okay? I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my story. So as I told you, I am currently a coach and a consultant. I work with schools and youth serving organizations all across the world right now. But at the time, I was working as a school counselor. I had launched a coaching business. I was making very little to no money in that business. But because I was worried about my family, my finances, and most importantly, my impact, I started looking outside of the box as far as what I could do to improve my own situation. Now, this was probably, so I'm coming up on 6 years in my business. So this was some years ago, right? And everybody at the time was talking about free content. You got to have a blog. You got to be blogging every day. You got to be on social media. Anybody heard that? If you have a business that you are trying to get off the ground, people are talking about you got to constantly put out free information. You got to give free value. And here was the thing. I don't have a problem with giving free value, but I needed the income. I started my business because I wanted the income. And so for me, just showing up and giving constantly free value while I was paying for my website and paying for my license and paying for all these different things, it wasn't a business model that I could sustain. So what I did was I wrote this book, Drag 'em Kicking and Screaming, and I co-authored it with Elizabeth White and Reginald White. But let me tell you what this book did for me. Okay, this book got me booked for those free promotional speaking engagements, as well as paid keynote speaking engagements, right? It naturally boosts my income because today you can buy this on my website. You can buy an ebook version 24/7. I don't have to do anything. You click the link and it's immediately downloaded into your inbox. I also have schools that buy this book in bulk for their teaching staff. And when they buy it in bulk, I get paid, right? So it naturally boosts my income. It allowed me to serve thousands of educators because one little old me, right? Instead of just one little me feeling like I have to go out and be in every single place and give direct service to every single place, this is a handbook that allows me to serve thousands of educators and therefore probably hundreds of thousands of students right? And ultimately, it's allowed my business to not only replace my school counseling income, but multiply my school counseling income. Okay. Now, did I get a six-figure book writing contract to write this book? I did not. This was a self-published book, and I can show you how to self-publish it. Um, you can do it on Kindle, you can do it on, um, through print on demand. There's all these different options of how you can do it. But literally, all I needed to write this book was Microsoft Word and my mind. Okay. And that was able to let me pivot from not just being a school counselor and serving directly my students, but also serving so many more. So the way that I teach people to do this process, I call it the quickest path to profit system. And this is what's going to allow you to create a book that will either boost or start your business in a profitable way. And you just have to identify 3 simple things. So what I'm going to invite you to do while I'm talking through this system is, in the comments, what I'd love for you to do is tell me, what is your idea that you have that you want to write a book about, right? This could be who you want to serve. This could be the topic you want to cover. This could be what your particular skill or talent is. In the comments, tell me what that is for you, because what I want to give you an opportunity to do is get some information specifically for how to apply my quickest path to profit system to your needs. Okay, so the 3 things you need to get from where you are to the quickest path to profit is, you need to identify, number 1, the problem that you serve, the problem that you solve. Who has this problem? What does this problem look like to them? What does it feel like to them? Why is this keeping them up at night? Why is this stressing them out? What is that problem that they have? What is the promise that you can give them? So this is a solution. How can you give them a solution? What is the promise that you're telling them of how you're going to fix this problem? And then what quick process can you outline that gives them a quick win? Okay. When we're talking about a book that boosts your business, you want it to set you up as an expert. You want it to bring in customers or clients for your business. And you want it to be something that can be delivered in a quick and easy format so that it doesn't make more work for you. If you identify a common problem that your customers have, that will allow you to know what problem you should be solving. So for example, when I'm using my book as an example, this is called Drag 'em Kicking and Screaming, your 7-step action plan for at-risk student success. So the problem that we solved with this book was, there is a whole lot of kids who are being unsuccessful in school because they are at risk for one of many reasons. And so the problem is that teachers say, like, hey, this child is not turning in their homework, they're not going to graduate, they're not on time, they're not on target, and we really want to help them be successful. Okay? And because we want to help them be successful, what can we do? That's a problem, and we know it's a problem, and we know that this problem, that if we were to solve it, it would be good for our students. So how do we do that? Okay. So what we're going to do is make sure that we have given them a promise. And so the promise that we gave them with this book is, this is the 7 steps that you're going to follow to get kids to be successful. And the process of that is, we walk them through things like, getting to know your students, making peace with parents, creating a action plan, creating a team of experts to support the students even when you're not there, all of these different things. If you identify what that is for your business, right? So one of you said that you want to talk about motivation. So Cheryl, talk to me a little bit more about who you want to motivate, how you want to help them have determination. Like, who is the person that you want to motivate? So if you say a person has a problem with a lack of motivation, who is that person? What does she want? What does he or she want what do they want to be motivated to do? So you want to be really clear about what that problem is, because when you're clear about what that problem is, you know exactly how to talk to that person, and you know exactly how to outline for that person what the promise is in your book. And that makes your book sell itself, right? So not only do people pay to download my book, but they also will pay to bring me in to work with them directly, to coach them directly, right? And so once I've identified that problem for them and I give them that promise, they like my process. That means they just want to work with me more and more. So let's say, for example, you are a hairdresser. So let's say you're a hairdresser. That's a very direct service business, right? You're a hairdresser, and the problem is people say, my hair is too dry, right? And I can't get it to grow. And you know, look, if I can get you in my chair, I'm going to use my hands. I'm going to be able to get your hair to grow. You know that. But you also know that you can't get everybody in your chair. What promise can you give them? Well, I can give them the direct tools that I recommend, the direct products that I recommend, maybe the steps to, you know, a good washing conditioning routine, right? If that's the case, I can put that in an ebook and put that on my website and sell that for $4.99. So even if that person is not in my chair, I'm still getting paid for that person, right? That's how you put the path to profit system into work. Let's say, for example, you are a person who, let's say you're a realtor, right? You're a realtor. You want to have a real estate business, and you want to get more people involved in your real estate business. You can also use your book as what's called a lead magnet, right? So you can give your book away for free in order to get people on your email list. So maybe the problem is people don't know what's the first step to buying a home. So you're going to give them a promise of you'll be able to know exactly what things you need to do in order to be ready to buy your first home. And so you outline that for them. That gives you the quickest path to profit for your business. Now, what are some of the common mistakes that people make when they are getting ready to write their books? Let me tell you what some of those mistakes are. Number one, they have too much information. Too much information. Okay? Too much information. Let me say this to you. If you leave here today and you've learned nothing else, learn this. You do not need to add too much information to a book. So if you are sitting up here saying, well, I want to write, but I don't know if I'm smart enough. I don't know if I know enough. I feel like I need to learn some more. I need to do some more research. Let me tell you something. You do not have to have a book of tons and tons of information. My book, Dragon Kicking and Screaming, is maybe like 100 pages. I'm working on a book right now. I anticipate it to be less than that, because I don't want to overwhelm people with too much information. People download and purchase big, thick books all the time, but they do not read them cover to cover. So don't make the mistake of covering too much information. All you want to do is cover the problem, the promise, and the process. That's it. Okay. So one of the mistakes people make is they don't do any research or planning. So they start writing, right? If you are a person who know you've got some stuff on your desktop, in desktop prison, right? If you know that, you probably just got really passionate one day and started writing, and then you got stuck and you didn't know how to wrap it up, or maybe just felt like you were rambling, right? Doing the right amount of research before you start writing, like outlining and planning, will allow you to know exactly what you need to include in your book. Now, at the time when we wrote Dragon Kicking and Screaming, which was my first book and was self-published, I've since self-published other books and also been contracted to publish as well. But that first book, what we did was we outlined what we thought, what are the common problems we see every day. So at the time when we were writing it, we were all in practice educators. So I was full-time working as a school counselor. Elizabeth was working as a full-time school counselor, and Reginald was, I think at that time he was a building level principal, right? He's a district level administrator now. But we were able to use the research that we were seeing every day in our work, right? So every day we're seeing this teacher struggling with that, this kid struggling with that. We use that research to help us plan what we needed to cover. If you do that well, it allows you to eliminate a bunch of fluff and get right down to what's necessary. If that makes sense, give me a high five in the chat. And then the last mistake that I see people do all the time, let me tell you something. I'm all about the paper, okay? I'm all about you making money. This is your business. I do not want you doing things for free. I work with people every day who are givers. They are so supportive. They are so loving. They are so compassionate, but they are not getting paid what they deserve, okay? So I am really passionate about people getting paid. So the most common mistake is people feel like they have to give everything away for free. If you have thought about having a blog, or you are giving away all kind of free content on your social media, or you spending all your time in Facebook groups answering people's questions for free, if you're constantly having coffee with people, letting people pick your brain, stop it. Put that stuff into a book. When people ask you a question, you can direct them to your website to download it for $3.99, $4.99, $10.99, $22. And that way you will be able to get paid. It frees you up to do the direct services that you need to do, but it also allows you to empower people to take some accountability for their own needs. Okay, so those are the common mistakes. So how will I help you to not have these mistakes? Number one is the Just Right system. So this is a system I created that allows you to focus very intentionally on the outcomes that you want your reader to achieve. Okay, so I keep you focused on the outcome. So you never find yourself going down a winding trail path that allows you to just keep writing and writing for months on end. I've written books in a 30-day period of time. I've written books in a 90-day period of time. I know some people will write on their book for 2 years, but I'm telling you that is unnecessary. Okay, the average person can have a book from start to finish in 60 to 90 days. I promise you, with this system, you can do it, okay? It walks you through a proven outline that helps you eliminate any busy and fluff work that wastes your time. You don't have time to waste. And I get an amen on that. You do not have time to waste, okay? My system walks you through how to not waste time. And it gives you access to me, right? That helps you to get up any hurdles that might be tripping you up. So how are you going to get this Just Right course? So number one, the Just Right course is a course that is currently available on pre-order on my website. It includes a workbook and a video training, but because you're here today, because you came here on New Year's Day to watch this course training with me, I'm also giving you access to a one-on-one session with me. Okay, so what I'm going to do for those of you who have registered for this webinar, I want to give you a chance to get a copy of the Just Right course and the one-on-one session with me. So I will be emailing you a link to log on for both of those. What you get with the email, once you purchase it, what you do is you get immediate access to the electronic resources, and you'll also get a link to schedule your one-on-one session with me. And that is all for one course for one price point. And I will make sure for those of you who are watching this on Facebook that you also have access to that. Now, here is something that I like to offer to my coaching clients. So I have a couple of group coaching opportunities for people. The number one that I have is the Love You to Life Club, and we do something we call Step into the Spotlight. So this is your moment to step into the spotlight. If you are live on the Zoom call and you want to unmute because you have an idea about your book that you want to write, this is your chance to pick my brain. If you're watching me on Facebook, obviously you can't unmute and talk to me, but I am going to check the comments. So if you have a question, this is a perfect time to get me to talk to you about what it is you're looking for. So this is your opportunity to step into the spotlight, to have me kind of give you your quickest path to profit so you can get your book up and running as quickly as possible. So I would love for you, if you are interested, to just either unmute or put some comments in the chat, and I would love to help you find your quickest path to profit book idea. Now's the chance. Step into the spotlight. And I am going to check the comments to see who is ready for this free chat time. Kenyatta, I'm really curious about what your aspirations for your business are. What kind of businesses is that you want to start? So if you have a second to pop into the comments, I would love to help you with that. Heather, you don't have to struggle to put in the words. Get unmuted. Let's chat about it. Is this your business? Is it called Shrink Me Not? Yeah. So tell me, what does your business do? Is it a coaching business, a counseling business? Oh, that's fine. She's getting it somewhere quiet. That's perfectly fine. I know that life. Welcome to e-learning and kids home nonstop. I know that life. I'm fortunate that my kids are at a point now, they're old enough where they can stay out of the office while I'm working in their home, but I understand that is not always an easy thing. Hey Heather, how are you?
Good. So
Good.
I'm actually in the car. That's the reason
all
why I
right.
have to get some more quiet. Okay, so my book is it's a book on self-care for busy women.
Okay.
But it's based upon Superwoman. And so like I literally have probably like 80% of this book done.
Okay.
And I've been working on it for years. And so it's literally at this point like, all right, you're doing the most. Let's just
Got it. So your desire is the problem that you are addressing is the overworked woman who maybe even is tied to her superwoman Kate, and so she's not taking good care of herself.
Yes.
So does she know that she has a problem or not?
Yes.
Yes. So she knows that
she knows she has a problem.
Okay. So she knows that she has a problem. And what are you offering her? What's the promise that you're offering her?
Strategies to to deal with the stress.
Okay.
And to learn how to take care of themselves while also still being that superwoman.
Okay. So you're offering her some simple strategies to self-care, right? So that might even be your subtitle, simple strategies to self-care for the superwoman, right? And how are you suggesting that she's going to do that? Does she need a certain amount of time? Does she need what does she need for that?
Yeah, she needs some time. Hold on for a second. Can you just go because they're texting like okay. Sorry. She needs time for it. Yes, but like I said, but the strategies are very simple. So she may need an hour, but she only may need like 15 minutes.
Okay.
So it's like a pick your best strategy.
Right. Okay. So that's your hook really. So your hook is you don't have time to waste. You know that your life should be better than what it is right now. You are ready to take off the superwoman cape and have some self-care that actually fits into your life. So that woman, you know that your book has to be short for her, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
It has to be short. It has to be easy. And for her, you know what? Your path might not even be a paperback. Your path might be an ebook or audiobook. You might have to do if you do an MP4, something she can put in her ears while she's walking around doing her thing. You might not even need to do the traditional book route, right? You might just do the audiobook route, which is even quicker and even easier. But I think you're clear on who you're serving. You're clear on the problem that she has and the promise that you're offering her. The key for you is to make that process feel like something that she can do and not be overwhelmed with. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right?
That does.
So I would definitely think about making that into an audiobook. Something that she can put in her ear pods while she's driving to work or what have you, to give her that little motivation to put herself on her own list. You might add some things in there like checklists, right?
I have one of those in there.
Websites that she might be able to do to simplify her life, to give her some time. That's definitely, I mean, that's a great, first of all, it's definitely needed for one. But that will absolutely be able to boost you. And here's the other thing. What is your, are you a therapist, a coach? What is your business?
I'm a counselor therapist, yeah.
So the other piece of that is, if you wanted to, now I again, don't necessarily recommend this. It could be a freebie, like you could have a piece of the book be your freebie. Then the purchase could be the full book. And then at the end of the book, it could be an invitation to work with you one-on-one.
So yeah, no, I'm trying to get away from that. So I have a group practice, and so I have
Okay,
my employees. They handle all that, which is
got
great. I
it.
do have a few clients, but I'm looking for more for passive income
Right.
in this new phase. So yeah.
Right. So I think that's definitely an option. And whether they're booking with you or somebody in your practice, same difference,
True.
right? Same
True.
strategy is if you because you're going to have the woman who's going to get the immediate win from, yes, I'm not crazy, I am overwhelmed, I do need to do this. And you're going to get to that woman who gets to that hurdle and says, wait a minute, I need some help. I'm feeling some pushback, right? That person, you want to have an immediate way, because what we're basically doing is, how can we keep this person bringing in the money, right? How can we keep like, they're going to download that one book. You don't want her to download that book and then be gone. You want to keep her in the cycle of your revenue, because now she knows you, she likes you, she trusts you, she's ready for whatever you have to offer. So I think that's a great idea. It's a wonderful supplement. I would absolutely consider making that either an audiobook. You could also do it, I want to call it like course style, because basically courses is just another book. That's all it really is. It's just a book in a format. And the other piece about that is it doesn't require you to format it quite so much. If you have your concept and you're ready to talk it through, you can very easily, record yourself on a Zoom, upload it to one portal, and make it into basically like a video book, which is another, basically that's basically what it is. And all these they're basically the same thing. I don't care whether you're talking about, guys, so this is a bonus tip for you. Whether you're talking about a blog, a podcast, all these different things, they're books in various formats. Figure out what your person who has that problem needs from you. Okay, so if they need something quick and easy, maybe they want it in an audio format, maybe they want it in a video format, but do you know what problem they have? Do you promise to solve it? And how are you going to solve it? And I think you got that hammed out pretty good.
Okay, thank you.
Good, thank you. Now, Patrice asked, is it better to self-publish or find a publishing company? Now, Patrice, I have done both, and I'm going to tell you, for the average person, my preference is a self-publishing. And the reason for that is, unless you are a celebrity, for the most part, you're going to get pennies per book that you sell, right? So when you think about a person who is a best-selling author, unless they are, on the New York Times bestseller list or a celebrity, most of them are only getting $1, maybe $2 per book. Some of them are only getting pennies per book, right? And they're waiting to get paid until the publishing company has recouped all of their money, right? So if you're a regular old Jane, you're probably not going to get a big publishing contract with an advance, of $20,000 or something. On occasion, you'll get that if you have a really good following. So let's say you got a huge following and you were able to get pre-sales and all those type of things. But if you self-publish, which is what I think the average person probably should consider, you can use one of those avenues that I just talked about with Heather, which is, the ebook or the audio book. There's all these different options for that. If you do that, you are also able to get paid immediately. So when I sell an ebook, that money gets, goes into the holding account at either PayPal or Stripe, whichever the person has chosen at checkout. I can technically access it immediately, right? If I wanted to cash out the same day, I could. Otherwise, I get a routine deposit, every like usually it's about 72 hours. I get a routine deposit from them. So, and the overhead, incredibly low. If you're talking ebook, audiobook, blog, very low. If you want to go with like a course kind of model, so obviously the Just Right course is a course version of a book, right? It does include a workbook for you as well, but I have that hosted on a site. There is a little bit of overhead for that, like $19, $20, $30 a month. But if you already have a website that you are paying hosting for, you can embed that right into your website. So the actual overhead for your book is non-existent. So if you decide to sell your book for $4.99, $4.99 is coming to you. If you decide to sell your book for $9.99, $9.99 is coming to you. If you decide to sell your book for $20, $20 is coming to you. Now, if you are using, your credit card processor might charge you like 3% or something like that. But if you go the traditional publishing route, they're going to pay you royalties. Now, I enjoy my royalty check. It comes in every year. I don't have to do anything, just comes in direct deposit to my account. I do enjoy my royalty check. So there's nothing wrong with that. But when we're talking about boosting your individual business, you want an income stream that comes in passively every month, self-publishing is the way to go. Okay. And I can talk to you. So I do have, in one of the bonuses within the Just Right course, is some links to some of the companies that I use. There's some great companies. You can do it directly through Amazon Kindle. That's probably the most common. I would say Amazon Kindle, like their self-publishing tools, it's the halfway point between a publishing company and self-publishing. So technically you're self-publishing with Amazon, but the way that they structure their fees, it's a little bit better than a traditional publisher. However, it's not as good as being a self-publisher. Okay, so Patrice said, how do you determine the value of your book? And I think this is a really good question, and it depends on who you're serving, right? So I have some products on my website that are 99 cents to $2.99 to $4.99. Those are giving you a simple, quick win. And so I keep that, technically they have a high value, but I keep them at a low entry point, because those are really, it's just slightly better than a freebie, right? So it's getting people to pay for a good, quick win. But you really look at what is the value to the consumer and what is the lifetime value of that consumer to you. So like I was just saying for Heather, if ultimately the goal is this person will become a client of your office, and you know that they're going to pay, let's say $100 bi-weekly for a counseling session over the next 12 weeks or the next 6 months or what have you, the value of that person once they're into your practice is pretty high. So I might opt to make the price point of the book lower, because I know the value is on the back end. Okay. If I know that that person may not necessarily transition right into being a client, I might make it somewhere in the middle. People will pay 99 cents for a book all day, not think much of it, and may not even read it. I think $9.99 is a really easy price point for most books in an ebook format. If you're going to do a paperback, you obviously have to consider things like your cost of printing, your cost of shipping, which is really high right now. You can do print on demand. I would say if you're doing print on demand, it's pretty average to do maybe like 25 to 35 for like a book / workbook option. People will pay like $47 for an ebook if it's got a lot of content with it, if it's got some worksheets or bonuses with it. So I would say the price point really depends on the problem that you're solving and that, how it fits into your overall strategy of your business. And that's why I've included with this course time for one-on-one with me, because I want to make sure that your strategy is solid. So if you know that you are really just launching your business and you're not exactly sure how this is going to feed in, we want to make sure that we have it feed in nicely. So you might have a smaller book or like a workbook, and then you might have something that's a little bit more robust, because we want to have that customer journey be identified really strong. Any other questions? Anybody else want to step into the spotlight? We got a few more minutes here before we wrap up. I have thoroughly appreciated you all joining me for this New Year's Day journey dive into publishing a book that can boost your business. I really, really do believe that it's critical for us to find ways to create additional streams of revenue in our business that does not require us to do that one-on-one direct service model. And people really are into, ebooks, audiobooks, blog books, all those different types of books. They really are into those if you structure it with my quickest path to profit system. So Looks like the questions are done. Hope you guys have had an amazing start to your new year. If you have registered for this, like I said, you'll get the recording with the link to enroll in the Just Right course if you're interested. If you're watching this online, it will be in the comments of this. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I can't wait to see all the book ideas rolling out this year as well. You guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.